Yes, the Mustang Ranch brothel. Now, I know a lot of you guys have wanted to hear about the Mustang Ranch or have wanted to get in there, but nobody can get in there, okay? So I'm going to be speaking today about the undisclosed information that I received on the Mustang Ranch that I don't think anyone else got. Well, maybe a few. So, hey, the first thing I wanted to say is, and I know a lot of you are probably going to come on during this hour, is that I see that Crystal's on. And I just wanted to say, first of all, we are supernatural light workers, okay? We refuse to call ourselves paranormal investigators or ghost hunters, and we are light workers of the supernatural. And I wanted to say thank you so much to our team members, first of all. Our team member is Crystal. Oh, yeah. She is absolutely fabulous. She is our new team, part of our team. Extremely talented, knowledgeable, and she is a light worker. She also does some really cool stuff on the side, so I'll be posting about where you can find her as well. We also have Wishasha Walken. Yes, Wishasha Walken has been 56 years. He is a medicine man, and I call him a shaman, but he refuses to say that. And I just want to say how blessed I am to have our team. We possibly may have another coming with us, and these are all experts, okay, on supernatural phenomena. So again, I'm going to tell you today, I just want to give a great thanks also to all of you that are out there that support us. Our business has grown dramatically, and my motto is you play, you pay, you invite one, you invite them all. So yes, we are extremely different. And don't forget to check out my next video that's going to be on what's in my toolbox. Nope, not an EVP, an EMF, or cameras. So I'm going to go ahead and start. It's really hard for me to see everyone's questions on here or anything like that. So because I get deviated, I'm like all over the place. I'm crazy. Crystal calls me the boss lady. I'm not like her where I sit there and I'm like, yes. And she's so mellow and so nice. I'm the complete opposite. I am totally crazy. Oh, I forgot to show you my boots today. Yes, my boots are my favorite thing. Okay, so we're going to be discussing the undisclosed information of the Mustang Ranch, and that is in Nevada. And yes, it is a brothel. Now, this place has been around for a long time, and I know that a lot of you want to get in there, and you can't. So I just got really lucky. I need to put my glasses on because I have some notes here. Okay, let me explain something. And I always like to explain things about history, not just, oh my God, I saw a ghost or this happened. No. When I was about 12 years old, my mom and the assistant district attorney of Nevada at that time, which was, back in 1976, of course, that's quite a while ago. Let me just make sure I got my notes out because they're the only notes I need, really. So I was 12 years old, and my mom was friends with the district attorney of Nevada. His name was Cal Dunlap. He worked under Mills Lane. Now get this, Mills Lane used to be a boxer, and he was also a referee, yes, in Reno and Las Vegas. And Oscar Bonavena, okay, was, he actually, I'm going to read this, okay, because I need, he fought against Muhammad Ali, okay, and Joe Frazier, and gave them a really hard fight. Now, this guy was big, okay, big-time boxer, like 58 wins, 6 losses. Okay, so let me explain a little bit about Oscar Bonavena. this all ties into Mustang Ranch. When I was 12, it was like, I don't know why I remember this so well. It just stuck in my head. But Cal, okay, the assistant district attorney, was friends with my mother. Very good friends. And also, I think my mom was either dating Oscar or saw him or knew him as a friend. So I remember hearing all of this stuff when I was a kid about all of the absolute craziness that was going around about his death, and that there was a huge cover-up going on. And I'm not kidding, a cover-up. Okay, a huge cover-up going on around this famous boxer and his death. All right, which I said, Cal Dunlap was under Mills Lane, okay, the attorneys in Nevada at that time, and this is inside information. It was stuck in my head like there is no tomorrow. So during that trial, I remember everything that they spoke about. And it was on the hush-hush, okay? And basically, Oscar Bonavina, okay, the prize fighter, got involved with Joe Conforti, who owned the Mustang Ranch at that time, and he moved over there, okay? So what happens was, you know, Oscar, this is supposed information, was seeing, believe it or not, Joe Conforti's wife. Okay, Joe Conforti owned Mustang Ranch. So they were having this little liaison on the side. And what happened there is then, I guess, she became his, guess what, manager. And I guess his body was deteriorating and all this stuff. And so anyways, he was out there. They built this new Mustang Ranch on the other side. They were building. So he went in there and he was like saying, oh, yeah, this is my place and all that. Well, Joe Conforti heard about this. Joe Conforti told him to get out. Get out of Mustang Ranch. You are no longer supposed to come in here, and we are banishing you. Never come back. So he burnt down Oscar Bonavina's trailer, because that's where they're living, because we're building the new Mustang Ranch, okay? Burnt his complete trailer down. Now get this, famous boxer comes in. He comes in and he goes through this gate, and immediately he was shot through the heart. I am not kidding you. Shot right through the heart. So, let me explain something. The guy, okay, that killed him only got 15 months in jail. Yep. So that's why I'm explaining a little bit about how I know about all this stuff. There was a lot of shady shit going on at that time around his death. All right? Little history there on how I know about Mustang and how part of this ties in to this whole thing, which is really cool. So anyways, when I was first moved here, after I did the show somewhere else, I'm not going to mention their name. Well, maybe I will. I might get sued. Who knows? Maybe Joe Conforti is watching. Oh my God, maybe Zach Bagans is watching. I can't stand him. I'll talk about him. Anyways, I could care less. I got a call. Actually, it wasn't me who got a call. I had a new, hi, Crystal. Hi, everybody. Hi, thank you. I'm going to really try to stick to this. We're going to stick to Q&A at the end. See how I get off track? Okay, so I was here for about 2 weeks. I was supposed to move here because of the show. Anyways, and I had a team member, Justin, who just kind of started with me because I really didn't have anyone here. And Justin got a call from the head security guard at Mustang Ranch. Now, this guy is like the big dude, okay? He isn't just like some guy that stands around. He is like the main guy, okay? So he got a call. They wanted us to come in. Well, I was super excited, so I contacted them and they said, yes, we want you to come in and we would like to speak to you. And I said, sure, I'll come in. And I said, I'd like a few hours, because in any location I usually go to, I'm there for like a week or 2 weeks. So I only had a few hours, and you can't get into certain locations here, okay? You just cannot. And so I ended up hanging out with all of the brothel girls inside Mustang Ranch. That was the first room you entered. By the way, you cannot get in until a security officer lets you in, okay? Those are the guys that stand outside. Very interesting. Before we went in, Justin, since he used to be a bodyguard, he said to me, before when we did our work outside and we did our prayer, he said to me, you cannot say a word in here. And I was like, why? And he was like, they have audio and they have video everywhere. Like, they can hear you outside. They can hear every word you are saying. Okay, and most of it's on tape, but they have someone back there that's listening, okay, to whatever you're saying. Plus, you get frisked, believe it or not, before you go in. Not anyone can get into this place. So I went in, and I met all of the brothel girls. So excited. I was in there for like an hour. I met the bartender. I met everybody that was in that area. And let me tell you what, I had so much fun. These girls are so nice. They're so intelligent. And it's just their way of making a living. And I got to tell you, I loved them. I loved all of them. Now, they knew, we were also told before we came in not to say anything on why we were there. Okay? They said not to say anything. Well, unfortunately, I wore my paranormal shirt, right? So all the girls see it and they're like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go in and talk to the manager. And they all said, oh my God, you have got to listen to my story. And I spoke to every single one that was in there. There was probably about 10 in there at that time. And I heard stories of, well, I've seen a woman walking down the hall and she's kind of white. And one said that she got scratched. Another one said that when they're in there, go into these little rooms, okay, that things were touching them while they were doing other things, like hands, lights going on and off, and all kinds of stuff. So they were telling me all their stories, which is really cool about their experience there. So I had a lot of information on what they were telling me. I don't believe anyone until I do a thorough, my own thorough investigation, as well as getting my team in there, okay, eventually, all right? So after I did this and I met the bartender and everything, and he was really cool, there's another room with a big door, but you can't really tell like it's a big door. It looks like part of the wall, and he came out of that, and this is a lockdown, man. I'm telling you, a serious lockdown. Maybe some of you guys have been there. If you've been there, then you know what it is. So we went into this next area, okay, of Mustang Ranch. And in that area, from where the brothel girls sit, and then they wait. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink of water because I get going so fast. If I'm talking too fast, please let me know. Hi, everybody. I can't really answer your questions right now. I'm keeping the Q&A to the last portion of this. Excuse me. We go into this big room. Now, we have been treated like, I swear to God, like kings and queens since we went in there. I am not kidding. It was like going to a 10-star restaurant, okay, how they treat you. And so we went into this next room, and it was absolutely huge. And I am telling you guys, gorgeous. gorgeous. Now they had some paintings on the walls that looked a little odd. I wasn't sure, really strange. Now these paintings were like 8 feet by 4 feet across, and they were all embellished in real gold hanging on the walls. It was unbelievably fabulous. So we had this beautiful little couch, and they served us like perfectly with coasters and ice in our water, and sat it down, and we had a waiter. Well, they left me there and said, left us there, okay, and then they went in because the manager was running late, or the madame of Mustang Ranch. So I went in. I decided that since we were in there alone, right, I knew they were filming us anyways, but I really didn't care, okay, because I'm going to do my own thing. This is what I do. So I went into the middle of the room, and this room is huge, okay, but there was nothing there, which was kind of weird, and I wanted to tap into what type of energy, what was going on, like what kind of energy was happening. What is this? Oh, hi. Now, when I was in this room, I stood in the middle, and what I do is I close my eyes, and I do a process, which I'll be speaking about in another video. And I felt like, do you guys know what, there were these hands with nails. Have you guys ever seen that? They're like talons. Like the talons were like 3 inches long. Has anyone seen that? Where their hands are black, and there's like this big pointed black fingernail. All of a sudden I felt them like coming down, like birds swarming all over me. But the thing is that I had so much protection around me that they were all poking at me. It started like 10. I mean, they were poking, trying to get through the white light that I put around me, as well as Archangel Michael, who I work with, poking at my aura. And you know what's really funny? I opened my eyes and I said, you guys, you have no idea who you're dealing with. No idea. And I started laughing. Well, I'm not talking about me, like I'm all that, okay? Because I give my full credit to my spirituality and my protection work and my archangels, okay? That's who I give the credit to. I'm just a channel to be a light worker in the paranormal, okay, which is out of control right now. Allowing these spirits to come into our room and playing around with them. So I knew exactly what was going on in there, in this. I just knew it. I thought, wow, but I was laughing. I was totally laughing. So guess what? So next, okay, we get to go in to the office, okay? And we're gonna basically be on an interview. I like to sit forward, but boy, it sure feels good sitting back. Can you guys hear me? Anyone there? I'm waiting. Okay, so we were escorted, okay, once again, escorted into the office. And we met the head madam, and I'm not going to say anybody's names, okay, because I really don't like to do that. And she actually was really cool. She was very apologetic when we went in there. At this point, Justin, the guy who was part of the team, he looks like, he sat behind me, so I felt really comfortable being in there, like, okay, if anything goes bad in here or around here, I know he's going to help me. Not really, but yes. So what I like to do when I go into places like this, because we were being interviewed, however, I like to interview them too, because I don't work with just anybody. I don't care if it's Mustang Ranch or the Travel Channel or whoever, I decide. Our team decides, okay? So anyways, we sat down and we spoke with them, and they were extremely nice, and I always like to just kind of chat it up and find out about their lives and what's going on, and ask them questions about, do you have kids, or, how you guys doing, how's biz? And all of a sudden, I looked over. I gotta sit this way, sorry. Ugh. I like to sit on my legs. I sit Indian style or on my knees on the floor. I'm like a total Tom girl. Yes, I grew up on a farm. And my grandpa saw a flying saucer. No, yes, he did. Anyways, I looked over at the wall and I noticed this picture because I'm looking around. I like to survey the situation. That's what I call it. And I'm looking over there at the wall and I see, the Mustang girls and people that, of course, the madam. And they're all standing in front of this private jet, okay? And I'm like, wow, that looks kind of cool. You guys are all standing in front of the private jet. I said, where were you going? And she goes, because I love just to talk to people. And it's amazing how much they'll disclose when you're just not in there to play around. You're in there really concerned and to help people. And she goes, well, that we were flown to Hollywood by the Ghost Adventures crew. I said, oh, hell no. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. And she says, no. And then she totally just opened up, okay, and said, and I'm not supposed to be talking about that, but this Mustang Ranch, okay, but I'm talking about it, and I'll tell you why at the end, okay, because when I get pissed, I get pissed. And I like people to know what goes on, all right? There was no contract, by the way, yet. So this is what she told me about Ghost Adventures, okay, and I already know about them, okay, because of the camera crew and people I know. They were flown to Hollywood to go to a set that looked exactly like Mustang Ranch. Yeah. Flown to Hollywood to go to a set that looked exactly like Mustang Ranch. Some of the filming was filmed at Mustang Ranch, but most of it was filmed in friggin' Hollywood to make the set look just like Mustang Ranch Brothel. So I keep getting more information, right? I'm just kind of going, wow, you gotta be kidding me. I told her how I felt about Ghost Adventures and my experience. And then so she continued to talk. She goes, yeah, you wouldn't believe it. Okay, this set. So we got off. They wanted us to go on the set there. And each of us had to play our certain part. And believe me, that's what happens. I experienced it. But I did what one lady did. So they all went on there to play their parts. And this one lady, she had no idea this was going to happen. Okay? And they told her, well, we want you to say this. Okay? And she looked at them and she said, I'm not saying what isn't true. And they said, well, we'd really like you, and tried to kind of talk her into it. And she says, I'm not lying, okay? I'm just not going to lie. So she left the friggin' set. No shit. She took off. That's what I would do, okay? And when I was on a show, okay, I told them before I would never lie for them, okay? Which I didn't, all right? D, yeah, he got talked into it, all right? Me, no, all right? So that's a little bit about Ghost Adventures, all right? So anyways, they start speaking to me about everything that has been going on in there. Now, this is undisclosed information. I'm sorry, guys. I start talking 100 miles an hour, and it's like, Damn, I need like a jelly bean. I'm really into black jelly beans. They start telling me, well, the head bodyguard, and I'm talking, these people were so, they were so worried, okay, is what I would say. They were reaching out for somebody to really help them. They had so many people come in there and try to bless this place, which they told me, and nothing had worked. Like nothing had worked there. So they were really concerned, okay, as they're telling me these stories. It was no bullshit. This was a no bullshit deal. The security guard starts telling me that he had caught, now you got to remember this, the old Mustang Ranch was being remodeled. Before I talk about that, let me tell you this. This is why they called me in. It was being remodeled. What was happening over there was the entire construction crew was getting sick. I mean, like really sick, to where they had nobody. And when they would start construction, shit would fall apart or it would completely stop. They couldn't finish the old remodel of the Mustang Ranch. So then the head honcho guy says to me, look, I run all of this equipment back here and around here and over at the old Mustang Ranch, and we have video surveillance all night. And he says, you cannot believe how many times we have caught this black presence, okay? It goes across the wall, all right, and then comes down and wraps around and goes. I mean, there are so many videos, you guys would not even believe it. Okay, so there's videos, okay? Then he tells me we're also having a problem. And he says, we've had this checked out, okay? We've had people come in, we've had everyone check it out. Well, get this. He says, we have audio. And I'm like, okay. He goes, no, it's not voices or anything like that. It's at night, okay, when I go home or everyone's kind of sleeping at that hour. A lot of girls work 24 hours a day because it's a brothel, of course. But the music would go on and blast. And so when he would come in the next day to listen to what was going on, he would say that this music was like going on and off, and all kinds of other things in the techno room, some stuff falling on the floor, the audio, the video, the apparitions. They also told me that they saw, and they weren't worried about this woman, one of the brothel girls had died there. And she was there for a long time, and she died in one of the rooms, and that they and everybody else knew about her. She was walking around in this white, beautiful gown, and she never hurt anyone. There was also some really strange shit going on at the pool. I never saw the pool, and I didn't know if the pool was at that location or at the reconstruction of the new location. And by the way, that's where the Travel Channel was. Over at the old location. Not the new location, by the way. Okay? And don't forget, they had them flown to a set in Hollywood. So they were seeing all this and telling me about all this, and they were, I'm telling you, you guys, it was kind of sad on what they were experiencing. And then I really like to take my time. We were in there about 2 hours, okay? And finally, the madame tells me that her son, okay, and she doesn't live very far away, won't go into his bedroom anymore. He's been scratched. He's had bruises on his body. And she said, I don't know if I'm carrying this energy home and it's hurting him, but he won't even go into his bedroom. And I was like, oh my God. I said, you know what, I can help you with this too, but that would be a separate thing. I'm gonna have to go to your house. And I when it comes to a child, and this is happening a lot, children are watching these shows and they're learning things that they shouldn't be learning. And they're making a lot of these kids really scared, and they're opening them up to things that they should be educated on, not this bullshit that happens on these TV shows, okay? Because that's not what we do. So when she told me that, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll come over to your house. I was really kind of freaked out by that. But anyway, so then here we go. Lastly, on our part of our interview, I'm looking at the clock. We're doing really good because I'm going 100 miles an hour. So they say, okay, so why don't, they already knew who we were and what we did and all that. So I have to do this. My lips get so dry. So then they started, asking us, me, because Justin was sitting behind me, about like, okay, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do when you come in? Because no one else has been able to, help us. And so I gave him the whole dig. It was about a half hour, and I explained that this was not a simple process. I was not going to come in like everybody else and chime some bells or throw some crystals or bless it. That this would actually take at least 2 weeks. Okay, first of all, we would have to go across the street to the old brothel, and all of us would have to check it out. Okay, check out the energy, check out where the location is. Now, we're not talking about just that huge facility they were in now, the new one. We're talking about the old one across the street, which has major problems. So all of a sudden it came to me while I was sitting there, after I told her it would take 2 weeks, because a lot of the times when you're trying to banish this stuff or get rid of it or send the spirits back to the light, and also we have to do a ton of protection work, okay? And luckily we have Wishaka walk in, and we have Crystal with us, with me, because I personally could not do all of this on my own. And I told them, of course this would take a couple weeks. Well, all of a sudden I was sitting there and I said, the reason why this is happening over there is because in the mortar and in the tile grout are dead people. They were mixed in there. And you should have seen their faces. Like, I'm talking about like if someone's cremated, okay, think of it that way. They mixed these people's bodies, so they couldn't be found, okay, into the mortar and the grout. And there was a lot of tile over there. And I think they show that on the Travels Channel, as well as one show that I did, the Constantinos, that was great, who also did a show with them. It's all done over across the street. And when I said that, I knew, you should have seen the looks on their face. It was like, okay, so I'm gonna tie this in here. And because of Oscar Bonavina and me knowing the whole crap that went around that in the undisclosed information on his killing, I know, you gotta remember, this place was there since the 60s. They had segregation. They had one trailer that was white, one trailer that was black. Okay, this goes way back, okay, to the good old days, okay? You'd shoot someone doesn't like you, the mafia, this and that. There's a lot of that shit going out there, and bodies being, I think, to get rid of them, were being ashed and burned up. And how they got rid of them was they were putting them in the frickin' stucco and all the shit in there, okay? So that's why the guys across the street that were doing the remodel because they were bashing the tile and everything out of there. And that's what I said to her intuitively. And all the mortar that was over there, they were creating this havoc, almost like they wanted to get back at what they were doing over there. Okay, that's my spin. I know it's real, okay, because I saw the look on their faces. And I know about poor Oscar being shot through the heart out there, and all the bullshit that went around with the DA and the assistant DA. Yeah, I still know Cal Dunlap, and I know all those people that did it, okay? And if my mom's watching, she can FO, because, you know, who knows what she was at that time. Anyways. So, they asked me, now get this is really funny, you guys, because I know a lot of you go in and do stuff for free, right? Okay, most of these people go in and they do this stuff for free. And what I saw today really pissed me off. Okay, what pissed me off was that some guy was talking about trying to trespass and get into a location. I'm telling you, people are closing these places down. I talked to a guy in Tonopah. Okay, that's where Zach Bagans. No, the brick wasn't thrown by a ghost. They threw the brick. They got famous. That place is covered with security now because of investigators breaking in there and a couple of them getting hurt, okay? Yeah. So, I believe, okay, that if you are a professional and you do this for a living, and I'm talking a professional, okay, not somebody who just wants to go out and ghost hunt, but has education behind their belt, has experience, you know, let's just keep going, okay? Also knows the spiritual side, which is extremely important for protection, as well as helping spirits, okay? Or at times poltergeists and things like that need to be banished. So when I said that yes, we get compensation, get this. They looked at each other like, because obviously everyone else had done everything for free, right? And so then they told me, now remember this is all undisclosed information, that the new guy that owned the joint, I don't know, I wrote it down somewhere, but I'm not following my notes at all, that owns the new Mustang Ranch now. They told me he was extremely cheap and that this was going to be a hard sell because he either wanted it for free and he didn't believe in it. So I could tell they were getting kind of bummed out about it, and you know, it's kind of like their hopes went down, you know, but hey, I mean, come on, man, we deserve compensation for doing this kind of work. It takes a lot. We're talking 2 weeks. We're not some crystal people that didn't come in there, or some wannabe shaman that's in and out in an hour and thinks that everything's going to go away. I'm sorry, but it isn't. So on that note, they said that they were going to get back to me. And they were so nice, you guys. I mean, they took us out to the front again, and they offered us a free lunch. By the way, if anyone visits Nevada and wants to go to the Mustang Brothel, you can only go into one room, okay? But their lunches there are absolutely amazing and fantastic, and I highly recommend it. So we had lunch, and we left there. And so I waited I usually only give people 48 hours. That's my thing. I'm just kind of the asshole. That's why they call me the boss lady. If I don't get contacted with 48 hours, I generally know that somebody isn't interested, or if they don't contact me at all, that's like really bad. That's a lack of respect, and that's a lack of, how about just, you know what, being nice. Just, it's not even being nice. It's just respect and finishing the deal, dudes. So then I don't have to keep calling them and wondering what's going on, which I don't. Okay? That's my answer. So I decided, okay, not 48 hours, let's give it a week. So it was like a week or two, I can't remember, but there was no word. And I knew, I thought, son of a bitch. And, it would have been great to go in there, but obviously I knew why we couldn't go back in. It was because the cheapo who owned the place didn't want to pay us. I offered them a deal. I said, if you let me come in there with my team and you sign a waiver that says we can use you in any TV, radio, film, or media, I would be happy to do a trade. Not gonna happen. Of course not, This is my spin, okay? They told the owner, I wish I had his name, but it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, look, hello, I only read part of it. They told the owner about me, and he said that he didn't want to pay. And I really believe the reason why they didn't contact me again and they thought it was a for sure deal was because they told me so much stuff that I was not supposed to tell everybody else. And so I even asked her, hey, do you want to come on my worldwide radio show? It was like no communication from then on. Because they knew that I was probably going to blow the whistle, all right? And the owner told them, don't speak to her anymore. But I can guarantee you I will get a call from them and we will go out there. My intuition says that 100%, okay? Because more really bad shit is going to happen over there, okay? I already know it's happened. And so that's my story about the undisclosed information. So if they're watching or they find this, because I'm going to post this whole video, yes, on Facebook, so you can go back and look at it. If they know about that, too freaking bad. I don't care. It's like I blew the top off again about the Ghost Adventures crew. Oh yes, there I did it again. And I'm blowing the top off of them. This is what I do, okay? And I do the real good stuff too. But when people piss me off, like this situation, okay, with having no respect, then I will blow the whistle. I never signed an agreement. When I went in there, I signed nothing, which gives me freedom of speech, right? Okay, so if anyone has a question, I can't see anything. I can answer them. Oh, I'm so sorry.